Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm dating coach Naz, and in today's video, I want to talk about what women who hurt you were really trying to teach you. So, if you are interested, then please keep on watching. Ever wonder why your relationships keep falling short? Sometimes people come into your life not to show you how they can love you, but they're there to show you how you need to love or learn to love yourself. And this is what I want to get into in this video because I feel like a lot of us, we get stuck in our past and in our pain and our experiences, which is good to reflect back on and to see what the lesson is and to learn from it. But also understand that everybody in your life, whoever that you have, attracted into your life, there's a reason why they are here. They were there. Your soul was meant to learn a specific lesson. And when we think of life in that way, life gets that much more empowering and you're able to surrender that much more. But when we kind of, we're really black and white with life, when we think that everybody here is meant to take from us or life is unfair, then that is the narrative that is going to keep on repeating. So the first point that I want to make is that your childhood affects your relationships. And so your relationship with your mother, with your father, it shapes how you show up in love. And I feel like a lot of men, they miss this point, or they're not aware the importance of going back to your childhood and understanding what was that need that wasn't getting met as a child. And most probably you're trying to get those needs met in your adult relationships. And so if you didn't get validated from your dad, for example, or your mother, you might be seeking that same sort of validation in your partner in ways. And basically, if they don't fulfill that need, that is when you get triggered or you feel abandoned in that relationship. Another example is, let's say your mother was unable to validate you as a child. She was not able to create a safe space for you to share your emotions. And so what that teaches your 5-year-old brain as a little boy is that I'm unable to communicate to a woman and she's not going to be able to hold a safe space for me. Correct? So it's not that you stop communicating, you still try, but what happens is instead of learning how to communicate, you have a coping mechanism, meaning let's say that you're in a relationship and guess you're emotionally unavailable, she's emotionally unavailable. And so what happens is things that, moments when you need to connect with her emotionally, what you do is you just let things go, or things that you need to call out within her. Let's say that she isn't showing up for you emotionally. You let it go. You don't call it out. You don't confront her. And then let's say in 3 or 4 days, she doesn't message you or she's not showing up for you the way that you would like. You blow up at her and you say, hey, you haven't even spoken to me in 3 days. What's going on? And so why that happens is because you have not communicated at the very beginning. What are your needs? What are your expectations from her? And again, if she is not connected to herself, she's going to be unable to meet you in that same manner. So this is where I'm trying to, my point here is to understand what has happened in your childhood with your mother. Most importantly, your mother, because the relationship with your mom as a man, as a boy, as a little boy is so crucial, because that is the first relationship that you have with a woman. And if she didn't make you feel safe, then we need to get deeper into that and work on building that safety and understanding that not every woman is just like your mother. And also at the same time, what we do as grown adults is, again, we try to get those unmet needs met. So we expect this woman now to mother us and to connect with us emotionally and to fulfill those needs. But the truth of the matter is that that is not her job to do that. The job lies solely within yourself, which is why it is so important before you do get into a relationship to do the work on yourself. Know what your triggers are. You don't have to be perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I get triggered all the time, but I'm able to acknowledge that these are my weak points. This is what I need to work on, because all of us, regardless of whether you're old or young, we all have baggage. Okay. When I was 21, I had baggage because I had a lot of trauma from my childhood. And, I wanted to, take my life. I wanted to do so many crazy things when I was 21. And so when people come and tell me, like, I understand, when you're older, I guess, when you're in your 30s, 40s, if you have a child, if you have a ex-partner, whatever, those things kind of add up. But to be quite frank, I had a lot of baggage when I was 21. I had a lot of things that I had not worked through. And so this is, again, where it's really important for you to understand what are your triggers, what has caused you to be the person you are today, and also make sure that your partner is able to do this as well for herself. Because one thing I've learned in relationships is if you're growing and the other person doesn't want to grow, it's going to be a disaster. And I know that some people will not agree. And I feel like, to be honest, it has to do with what the other person, the person that wants to grow, what they what they want to accept in their life. And again, growth doesn't come with self-love. You can grow in different aspects of your life, but doesn't mean that you love yourself. Now, this is a whole different topic. This is why I have notes, you see, because I can literally go on to the next topic and the next. So that's the first point that I want to make. Go back to your childhood, figure this out. Now, the second point is she's a mirror, not a fixer. So a lot of the times we get into relationships and we forget that person is not there to heal your wounds. I mean, eventually they will do that by bringing up your triggers, but the main job here is that she's going to be mirroring back your unhealed wounds that you need to still work on. And so she's not there to fix you. Okay. I mean, I know there's people out there that do want to fix, and that's again because of their trauma, but that's not her job. Your job is to fix yourself, to heal yourself, and her job is to heal herself. And of course, support, there's nothing wrong with asking for support, asking for advice, talking things through. There's nothing wrong in that. But putting all the accountability on her shoulders that she needs to do this for you, that is going to be, again, a disaster, because that's just not how a relationship is meant to be. And only once you start doing this work, you start holding yourself accountable, that is when you're going to stop repeating these patterns of self-sabotage. And maybe if you do repeat a pattern, at least you're going to be aware of it and you're able to communicate and say, hey, listen, I'm repeating a pattern here. And now I need to make a different decision, not the one that I used to do back in the day. Let me give you another example. My father he's an emotionally unavailable man. Okay. Now, again, this has nothing to do with the person he is. He's a great human being. But unfortunately, because his mother didn't have the best upbringing, she got abandoned as a child and a lot of crazy things happened to her, unfortunately. She never felt the love. So then if she didn't feel the love or she didn't understand how to love, how was she going to know how to love her children? She did the best she could. And my father did the best he could. Right? So I want to make sure that we all understand that this is not me making him the bad guy. This is just the reality. He's emotionally unavailable. And also what sometimes he made me feel, maybe it wasn't his intention to do it, but he made me feel disrespected. And I didn't receive the love and validation from him, which is why I'm so adamant on children receiving that love and validation from their fathers, especially as a woman, because that's, again, your first relationship to a man. He sets the precedent for the rest of the men that are going to come into our life, right? And I see this so many times where, with women, especially, their fathers are not present. They are either alcoholic or they're struggling, they're lost. And so then I see the women who then find men who are emotionally unavailable because they didn't know what love, they didn't know what love is, and they're unable to receive it or even love themselves. And now back to my father, because I felt disrespected, because I did not feel valued by my father, I feel like he didn't trust me or believe in me. And so what happened is that then led me to choose men who lacked the ability to understand me, to be compassionate for me. They disrespected me. And unfortunately, it made me feel safe because this is what I was used to as a child. I was used to my father behaving in those ways. And so now when I'm in this relationship, I'm like, well, I mean, I'm crying every day. It's hurting me, but I'm still going to stay because it's familiar. And so this is an example. Of course, I'm not in that relationship anymore, but these are just examples for me to explain what I'm trying to say, but with an example. I feel like that's the best way to learn. And so what I would like you to do is, this is some homework that I have for you, is to get out a journal. First of all, I don't care if you're a man or woman, you need to have a journal with you. You need to be journaling every day, your thoughts, your goals, what kind of person do you want to be, what kind of soulmate you're looking for, like all of these things. You need to be writing this shit down, not on an app. I don't want to see any apps, okay? Because what happens is when you're writing stuff down with a pen and a paper, you're doing old school, there's proof there that it actually gets into your subconscious mind. But when you're doing all this, on your phone, it's not, I mean, of course it's going to be helpful. It's not like it's going to damage you or anything like that. But I would highly recommend that you do it on pen and paper. So I would like you to start writing. Now, this is going to be difficult. I'm not going to lie, but this is only for men that really want to grow. They want to do this work and they want to find their partner. If you really want to do this, this is the work I need you to do. Right. So I want you to start writing to your younger self. Imagine yourself as a 5-year-old child and ask yourself, what did you need back then that you didn't get? What were those needs? What would make you feel seen, loved, and safe now? So I would like you to try this out. Try this out in the morning, at nighttime, put on some nice calming music on. Just take 10 minutes out of your day to do this and work on yourself. This is called the inner work that we all talk about. Inner work. This is it. And the more that you reject this, the more you laugh at it, the more you mock it, and you think that you're better than this work, and you think that only sissy or emotional men should do this, the more you're going to remain stuck exactly where you are. You're not going to move forward. Now, the needs you have now are the ones that you didn't get met as a child. So it doesn't mean that you're broken. It's just information for you to know. It's like you're reading a book. You won't understand the book if you don't read it. Same with yourself. You need to get to know your damn self. And instead of shutting down or getting defensive when conversations come up, when confrontation comes up, you start communicating those needs to your partner. You open up and you let them understand you better. Because again, that is going to make the woman feel safe. And she's going to feel like, okay, wow, he actually is taking the time to talk to me, to acknowledge how he feels. And that is when her feminine energy is going to get activated. She's going to be like, oh my God, this is my person. I'm going to build a bond with him. And now I'm going to be able to nurture him. Now I'm going to be able to let go and allow him in my life. And so these are the things. And I know it sounds so, like, why do I need to talk to my 5-year-old self? I get it. It sounds, a little bit like out there. But this is the work that a therapist would really tell you to do. And I'm sure therapists are going to be like, no, I don't. Okay. Anyways, this is just what I'm telling you to do. Okay. Forget the therapist. This is what I'm telling you to do. And if you do end up doing this, I want you to get down below. But that sounds really, but what? If you do this, comment down below. Okay. If you do this, comment down below how you felt, what has come up for you. Has this helped at all? And I'm excited because I want us to do this work. And literally you're getting this information free of cost. I have, you haven't done any sessions with me. I'm literally giving you this information for free. So make some use of it and let's get started. All right. If you guys have any questions, also put it down below and I will see you guys in my next video.